YouTube, here I am today with a book haul. I'll dive straight in. I've probably got more books to show you as the month goes on because, you know, I say I'm not going to buy anymore and I do, and I don't care. I'm not guilty anymore. I love books, so what? So I've got a quite eclectic mix of books today. They're quite a bit, lots of different genres, as you'll see as I'm going on. So the first book I've got to tell you about is, it's actually on my Kindle, and I'm just reading it. It's called The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. And it's only just come out, but if you're an Amazon Prime member, you tend to get them just before everybody. What it says, it sounds like a really good thriller. It says, near an isolated mansion lies a beautiful garden. So already I'm hooked. Old houses and gardens. In this garden grow luscious flowers, shady trees, and a collection of precious butterflies, young women who have been kidnapped and intricately tattooed to resemble their namesakes. Overseeing it all is the gardener, a brutal, twisted man obsessed with capturing and preserving his lovely specimens. When the garden is discovered, a survivor is brought in for questioning. FBI agents Victor Hanoverian and Brandon Edison are tasked with piecing together one of the most stomach-churning cases of their careers. But the girl, known as Maya, proves to be a puzzle herself. So that sounds good. It's right up my street. I do love I love a bit of crime, and I do love like a nice grisly twist and turn in the tale. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. The next one I've got is also a crime novel, and this is called Water Angels by Måns Kallentoft. If you've not heard of this author, he's a Swedish crime writer, and this is the next instalment in his Malin Fors detective series. And Malin Fors is a female Swedish detective who's got quite a few demons of her own. She battles alcohol and she's a bit of a workaholic and she's quite dysfunctional. But often what I love about these books is the descriptions of Sweden itself. It's set in Linköping, which is apparently a Swedish university town down in the south of Sweden. But a lot of the earlier books, things like earlier books called Midwinter Sacrifice and things like that, where the actual weather and the landscape almost seem to be quite a main character in the stories themselves. They are quite tense. They're very gripping. I'll just read you what this one is about. When a married couple are found dead and their adopted 5-year-old daughter vanished, Inspector Malin Fors is put in charge of the case. Malin is keenly aware of her own tendencies towards obsession and addiction. As the investigation takes a darker turn, forcing her to confront her own demons, will Malin be able to hold out long enough to find the killer and the missing girl before it's too late? So they're very gripping, they're very dark, they're brilliantly written, but the atmosphere and the description and everything I just find is absolutely wonderful. So I do recommend, if you're into crime series, Måns Kallentoft's Malin Fors series, they're really good. I really enjoy them. The next book I got is Alice Walker's You Can't Keep a Good Woman Down, and this is a short story collection, and this is the May read for the Feminist Orchestra Book Club. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it at the minute. I have to say, so far, I am enjoying it, but I found the first 2 stories much more engaging than the subsequent ones. But obviously I've not finished it yet, so I won't judge it yet. And I borrowed this from the library. Now I've recently rejoined the library because I just, you know, it's where I used to get all my books from as a child, and I just thought, do you know what, I can probably save a bit of money but still get the book urge. And where I live, I'm on the border of 3 counties, so I can actually join libraries from 3 different counties because they're all very near me, so I'm spoilt for choice really. So I've got that short story read, and this is again, it's set in the 70s because that's when it's written, and it's seeing the life of black women particularly, but I'll give you more about that in my wrap up. I've got some non-fiction books this month as well, and the first one I've got is this beautiful bright green book called How to Be Happy, or at least Less Sad, and this is by Lee Critchley, and it's a creative workbook. And this is, I'll just read the back actually because that's probably the best way. It's a different kind of self-help book, it says. This book cannot fix you and it cannot make you happy. The good news is that no other book on this shelf can either, but you already know that because you know deep down that no self-help book can make you happy. Just like you know deep down that you can, maybe you haven't discovered that yet, maybe you haven't discovered that yet, or maybe you've forgotten. But you know more than you think about your own happiness. This creative and practical book will help you draw, write, discover and remember those things that make you feel happy, or at least a little less sad. And it's got like loads of little activities in to do, and you draw pictures and you can write things about your mood. There you go, there's a nice quote about depression, if I can get it to see. Depression is the inability to construct a future. And just to let you into the reason why I got this book, I suffer with clinical depression and anxiety. I have for a long time. So something like this I think would just be a good way for me to get through those dark days that I have sometimes. So that one, my daughter's actually doing this book at the minute and she said it's brilliant. In fact, she was the one that recommended this to me. The next non-fiction book I've got is The Library Cat, and this is by Alex Howard. And just for me, my philosophy in life is books, cats, life is good. So I'm at my happiest when I'm curled up with my cat snuggling into me and reading a book. So obviously a book like this that's also got a library cat, so it's books and cats, is definitely going to appeal to me. And this is the tale of the Edinburgh Library, Edinburgh University Library cat. He's a thinking cat. You can tell by the canny glint in his eye, his arch disdainful whiskers and his unrelenting interest in books and piles of paper. This is Library Cat's story. Join him on the adventures he takes when he leaves his favourite turquoise chair in the library and his favourite food, which is bacon rind, behind to go into the big bad world, meet his cousins Biblio Chat and Saf Landan Tom. Hold your breath during his brief encounter with the elusive Puddle Cat and his run-in with the terrifying mysterious black dog. And it's got fabulous end papers on this book, all beautiful books, and it's got I think when I was just flicking through it, it actually has a little map at the front of the Edinburgh University Library in relation to the campus. And obviously a book with a map in it always appeals to me. And then just a little picture of Library Cat's brain, which I like very much. So I'll probably be reading that quite soon because I think that's definitely a book for a sunny day, which it is today. And the next books I've got to show you are all graphic novels because if you've seen my channel before, you know I'm really new to graphic novels and I'm actually really enjoying the experience of reading them. I think if you've never read graphic novels before and not grown up around them like I have, they can be a little bit daunting. You can see them all on shelves and just have no idea which ones to go for. So certainly BookTube has introduced me to the world of graphic novels, and from that recommended which ones to start with, and I have to say that so far they've been spot on with all the recommendations that they've made. You know, some I've liked, some more than others. But I grew up where graphic novels didn't really exist. It was comics. But the comics were like Beano Dandy, and for me I just read things like Bunty and Twinkle and Blue Jeans and Jackie. You won't know what I'm talking about, probably most of you. So I'm really enjoying this experience of getting into the graphic novels. So the first one I bought this month is one I've seen on a few channels now, and that's Sunstone Volume 1, and that is by Stjepan Sejic. He's a Croatian I don't know if you call them writers or artists. I think he's a bit of both because he does both. And this is a story of a lesbian couple who are exploring BDSM. I have to say that it's done in... I've actually read this and I enjoyed it. I'll give you more in my wrap up, but it's done in it's not in a seedy way. It's it actually has meaning behind it. So yeah, it's so I'll definitely be carrying on with that series. The next graphic novel I got is Low, Volume 1, and this is by Remender and Tocchini. These are, I can't remember the first names of them, let me find them. Rick Remender and Greg Tocchini. And this is sort of post-apocalyptic really. The world sort of has gone to pot, so civilization has had to move to the bottom of the ocean, but the resources and the oxygen on the bottom of the ocean are running out, and it's quite a grisly environment to live in. So that's what this series is about, so I'll let you know about that one. And the final one I've got to show you today is a huge graphic novel, and this is called The Inflatable Woman, and I borrowed this again from the library, and this is by Rachel Ball. I've seen this on some booktube channels as well, and I've heard that it's really good. I'll just read to you what it says on the back. It says, Iris, or Ballet Girl 42 as she's known on the internet dating circuit, is a zookeeper looking for love when she's diagnosed with breast cancer. Overnight, her life becomes populated with a carnival of daunting hospital characters. Despite the attempts of her friends, Maud, Grandma Suggs, Larry the monkey and a group of singing penguins to offer comfort, Iris's fears begin to encircle her until all she has to cling to is the attention of a lighthouse keeper called Sailor Boy 39. And this says it combines magical realism with the grit of everyday life to create a moving, honest and surreal journey inside the human psyche. So I think that sounds absolutely brilliant. I'll just show you. It's all sort of like, it looks like pencil drawings inside. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm quite envious of someone who can have a group of singing penguins as, you know, as to call amongst their friends. But yeah, so I'll be getting to this one shortly, so I'll let you know what I think. So that's it for me today. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you recommend, what you think of them, what you're reading at the minute. Let's chat in the comments down below. I love it when people talk to me, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!